What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes, and today we're back at a system that we installed in February 2023. This is a Carrier Infinity fully communicating heat pump system, and back when we quoted this job, we gave the homeowner two options. Option number one was a Bosch, and option number two was the Carrier Infinity. Well, needless to say, they went with the Carrier Infinity. But here is what it's absolutely incredible. 3 years later, the installed price today of one of our Mikey Pipes powered by ACiQ side discharge fully communicating inverter heat pump systems is roughly half of what this Carrier Infinity system cost to install back in 2023. Half the price. And did I mention that I've been an ACiQ dealer for about a year and a half, and I have not seen one tariff-related increase. Not one. Folks, today isn't about price. We're here to perform annual maintenance on this system, and I'm going to take you exactly through, step by step, what we do to clean, test, and what you'd be looking for on both the indoor and outdoor units. So if you own a heat pump, you service heat pumps, or just want to see what proper annual HVAC maintenance actually looks like, stick around. Are you ready? Let's get to work. All right, one of the first things I love to do is just do a visual inspection, make sure nothing's out of the ordinary, make sure there's no physical damage to anything. Insulation looks okay there, good. The 7/8 and the 3/8 line set, the communication wire, that all looks good. Here's our line hide. That slid down. You could probably push that up. Yep. That's why some people suggest using that end piece to terminate your line hide, but it is what it is. Nothing really on the bottom. Okay, surge protector. That's the Rector seal that we use from time to time, the RSH50. Here's our disconnect panel. Very nice with that circuit breaker built into it. I happen to love this. Take a look down below. Not too shabby. A little bit of debris in the bottom there. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. Let's take a look under the hood. Now, I did not turn off the disconnect at all. It was like an outdoor temperature sensor. Okay. All right, nothing looks out of the ordinary. Sweet. Very, very nice. Now, this is a fully communicating inverter-driven system using 4 wires. Actually, sorry, 2 wires, A, B, and C, indicative right there. That's going to our air handler and to our communicating stat. We have 2 onboard fuses, 2 amps and 1 4. Incoming voltage. Your transformer, your inverter drive board, and associated control for that. All right, not too shabby. All right, I went to the truck. I got my M18 leaf blower. We're gonna turn off power at the disconnect. Let's blow the compartment clean. All right, I got the little step stool. I got my vacuum, power's off. Let's carefully remove all the screws. That way we can get, oop, let's not lose any of them. We can gain access, easier access to the inside base of the condenser unit. That way we can remove all the debris and do a more detailed visual inspection of the components below the condenser fan motor. Let me tell you what's crazy, how insanely massive this unit is for only being 36,000 BTUs. Obscene. And the condenser fan motor, that little motor right there, and the whole condenser fan motor assembly, top shroud assembly, weighs a ton. So anyway, I disconnected the power and communication wire to the condenser fan motor assembly right here. And now I'm going to use my shop vac and vacuum out the debris from the bottom. All right, for the next step, I'm going to do a rinse with water of the condensing coil. I'm going to put the electrical cover back on to protect all that very sensitive electrical equipment. I'm not going to use any chemical. I offered the homeowner our economical annual maintenance and our more premium no stone unturned approach. With the premium and more, I guess, extensive annual maintenance that we offer, we're going to use a non-abrasive chemical depending on the condition of the coil and the condition of dirt and the type of coil it is. So either we'll use like a by Refrigeration Technologies or maybe even the New Bright by New Calgon. Micro channel coil, you're going to want to use like a product like Refrigeration Technologies. Actually, we're not going to put that back on yet because I got to do the wiring there. We're just going to be very careful. And actually, will this get in there? Yeah, I guess we could. Yeah, it's only 4 screws. Let's tuck all the wires in, get the cover on, and then start rinsing this coil with some water. All right, I got my magical pocket hose hooked up. I like this because it stretches to 50 feet. So if I have a long distance to my equipment that I'm servicing, this generally will make it. And it's lightweight and I like it. Now, from the inside out, we're just going to give this coil a little bit of a rinse and a little bit of a bath. No chemicals. Now, even though there's a double coil here, you're going to have to work a little extra harder to force the water through both coils, but you will do it. I don't recommend splitting the coils unless it's absolutely necessary. I know what some of you are saying right now, Mikey Pipes, you're not getting water through both coils. Watch this. Am I getting water through both coils, folks? I sure am. Okay, please. Takes a little bit extra energy to get through both coils, but you'll do it. And let's not forget to brush the bottom of the outdoor unit off. And when you're doing that, make sure you clean those little drain plugs. All right, I want those to be clogged. You climb in here, folks, in case you're wondering. You climb in and you get inside. Some people may think this is a 5-ton system, and they're wrong. This is only a 3-ton system with stupidly insane giant unit. But keep your hose nearby. Get in there, you know what I mean? Get in there. Get it clean. Get her done. Any of the big stuff that you didn't vacuum up before, take that out. Throw it out, dispose of it properly. Don't just dump it on the grass. All right, for the most part, this unit is now clean. Now, last year we did not do an acid rinse or chemical rinse of the condensing coil. But you know, you can bring the camel to water, you can't make it drink. Give the homeowner the options, let them decide. Ball's in their court. All right, back out of the unit. Looks like I missed a spot there. Yeah. Oh well. We'll hit that up next year. Most important that those drain plugs, those drain holes, make sure that they're clear. Fortunately, there isn't any trees nearby, so we don't have a lot of leaves or other vegetation to deal with on this system, but she is much cleaner now than she was before. Now the fun part, this massive like 100-pound condenser fan motor. Damn, she's so heavy. Man, she's heavy. And I thought I had an extra screw. I was wrong. All the screws are back in. Now, before we turn the power back on and make sure she's operational, and then we head into the indoor unit, let's plug back in the condenser fan motor harnesses. Oh, are you kidding me? There's a 3 Molex connector harness for 1 wire. Well, I guess why this system costs double the price of anything else. That makes perfect sense. Power back on. Got a little clicking action going on inside the system already. Let this bad boy boot up. And we'll check for any faults. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the outdoor maintenance is complete. We rinsed the coil, we cleaned the debris from the bottom of the condenser out, we gave everything a good visual inspection, then fired up the system to verify proper operation. She is running. This thing is whisper quiet. That's one thing I'll absolutely give Carrier credit for. This Infinity system, whisper quiet. Also fully communicating, inverter driven, heat pump, and when you have nasty oil like they have in their home, right? And you got solar panels on the roof, this is a win-win. A heat pump, that is. Why would you want to heat your home with ugly, nasty, dirty oil? All right? Why? Tell me why. Solar panels on the roof, gas not available in the street, a heat pump is the way to go. But even today, 2026, you're looking at roughly double the installed price compared to one of my Mikey pipes powered by ACiQ, fully communicating side discharge heat pump systems. Both Carrier and ACiQ, inverter driven, fully communicating, incredibly quiet, incredibly efficient, but one can cost nearly twice as much to have installed. We're gonna go head on inside, go to the indoor unit in the attic, and finish up this annual maintenance. All right. Let's head up to the attic. What do you want to bet that don't work? Oh yeah, could be my lucky day. Talk about lucking out, damn. All right. Let's go check out the air handler. Damn. Oh, what is that? Ew. Ew. Condensate cocky. Oh. Now, folks, I'm going to keep it real. We installed this in 2023, February 2023. And we did some things differently back then. But one of the things that we probably should have done, but we didn't, we just took a piece of sheet metal, put on an 18-inch sticky round takeoff, and made that the return plenum, instead of having a box there. Now, will it work? Perfectly fine. I have no problems with that. And one of the best things that we did here was check static pressure, which you can check right on the Infinity Touch thermostat, and it tells you. Let's take a look inside the hood. All right, I just turned off the switch. I don't want the system to error out with a static pressure issue. Blower wheel looks clean. Bottom looks okay. Coil looks okay. We're gonna get some condensate drain treatment spray and spray the internal condensate pan and a little bit of the condensate tubing leaving, and have a nice day here. All right. Blower motor fault. A lot of blower motor faults there. Fan coil. That's when we turned it off. And then you had a blower motor fault May 8th, 6:30 in the morning. Also May 8th, VFD system fault. A little less than an hour later. Blower motor fault overnight. Interesting. So May 3rd, 4:18 in the morning, May 3rd, 7:14. 11:41 p.m. the next day, 2:16 in the morning, 3:08, 3:32, 6:34, 7:25, and then this morning, turning it off. It's okay. Let's lower to 70. All right, while the system is in a little bit of a time delay to adjust for that temperature correction from 75 to 70, let me go put the ladder back on top of the roof of the truck and go back inside and see how the system's running, check static pressure, what have you. Make sure nothing's out of the ordinary. Is it gonna fit this way without having to? Nope. Let's extend. I swear, it is not that cooperative sometimes. Sometimes it seems like you need a two-person job for the little giant ladders. but we'll get it. Get up there. Get up there. Okay. Slide you over a little bit. All right. Now, got this Titan strap, which I happen to love, actually. It takes a little while to get used to, but it is pretty cool. Let's just put that little piece right there. And not a sponsor of the channel. I bought it, so leave me alone. Let's get that in there. If you don't like tuck this away, the wind rattles and it slaps up against the roof of the truck when you're driving. It's so annoying. All right.
It's all good?
So far.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to investigate an error that you have here.
Yeah, sometimes in winter, when it's too cold, it says error in the screen. And it turns the...
So like this January, February, when it was like 4 degrees,
Yeah.
it was hard, right?
Yeah, it was terrible. Más que están arreglando, están haciendo el mantenimiento de la pipa de arriba. Entonces está el señor aquí.
Okay. Airflow verification.
Yes.
Let's check static pressure. Alright, filter's clean. Take a look at this. We just ran Carrier's airflow verification test on this 3-ton Infinity system, and we're moving 1,050 CFM. It's about 350 CFM per ton, and static pressure is 0.53. And the blower is running at 958 RPM to maintain that airflow. 0.53 isn't terrible, isn't horrible, but this is exactly why I love having this kind of information. A communicating system can tell us what the blower is doing, how much resistance it's seeing in the ductwork. And look at the bottom, calculated minimum airflow, only 370 CFM. That's the beauty of inverter technology. This thing doesn't have to run like an old school 3-ton system at full blast every time there's a call. It can ramp up or down and match the load. Now, one thing I noticed here that I would like to see this static flow closer to 0.4, you know, the static pressure. We have a brand new pleated filter and a clean coil. I checked all the diffusers, a couple of them were closed, so that may be the case. The homeowner had to run out, so we have to like cut it short here. All right, current status 68%. That inverter driven compressor running at a little under 2,700 RPMs. Indoor fan speed 255. Indoor static pressure is 0.23. 734 CFM. Fan coil status. Okay. All right. Good. All right, right now we're at 100%, a little under 4,000 RPMs. The outdoor fan speed 405, outdoor temperature 74, the coil temperature 82, and that EXV, that electronic expansion valve, is fully open. Okay. Indoor static pressure 0.52 inches at 1049 CFM. Now let's take a look at these two separate fault histories. The same morning. The outdoor fault is 8211. That's the VFD system fault. Current line limit. It was recorded 3 consecutive times. And carrier service literature says the inverter is seeing input above its threshold. So it limits or reduces compressor speed until the current drops back down. Carrier specifically notes that low input voltage combined with high load is a common cause. Then about 50 minutes later, you got this. Code 41, blower motor fault. 7 consecutive times. Carrier still identifies code 41 specifically as a blower motor fault in its Infinity Controls documentation. But because the system's running normally, I would not immediately condemn either the blower or the inverter. But I absolutely would not ignore any history regarding this during annual maintenance. I'm going to document it in House Call Pro. We checked the supply voltage. That's normal, especially under load, the connections, blower operation feedback, all that good stuff. And those faults haven't occurred since May 8th. So this is why you just don't wash. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why you just don't wash the condenser, change a filter, and call it maintenance. Look at the fault history and a communicating system like we had. May 8th, this system logged a code 41 blower motor 7 consecutive times. Then about an hour later, the 8211, that line current limit fault 3 consecutive times. The system, though, is running perfectly fine for me right now. But communicating controls remember what happens when I'm not there. And that's the information that I want to know. That 8211 means the inverter saw excessive line current and started limiting compressor speed. And that can happen for a number of things like low incoming voltage combined with heavy load. So now we have something more specific to investigate and document the next time. Instead of saying, well, it runs great, we'll see you next year. And that's why, folks, when you call Pipe Doctor Home Services, you're not just getting us in and out in 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. We perform maintenance. Maintenance isn't just cleaning. It's looking at the history, finding problems before they leave someone without any heating or cooling.